To understand the Federal Gap Analysis Program, we must first understand that the purpose of the Wildlands Project and the Convention on Biological Diversity is to protect natural ecosystems and their respective species relationships, hydrologic functions, nutrient loading, and habitat requirements. Although the Convention on Biological Diversity was never ratified, the Clinton administration launched a massive study under the direction of the U.S. Geologic Survey. The study was conducted with the cooperation of all land management, federal agencies, and nearly every state to determine the species relations, habitat requirements, and hydrologic functions of every ecosystem in the United States. It is called the Gap Analysis Project, which is designed to identify these ecosystem relationships. Although many ecologists would disagree, wildlands ecologists, environmental NGOs, and many government employees believe the only way ecosystems can be protected is by creating vast wilderness or wildland areas and interconnecting them with wilderness corridors. The GAP process overlays three types of data. First, the vegetation types are identified by satellite imagery. Second, superimpose on that map another map of various animal distributions. And finally, superimpose on those maps property ownership. Land ownership is also divided into stewardship classes, where 1 is fully protected land, such as wilderness areas, 2 is mostly protected, like national parks and many wildlife refuges, 3 is partially protected, such as national landmarks and multiple-use U.S. Forest Service lands, and 4 is no known land protection, usually private land, that could be used for anything. Classes 1 and 2 are often combined. Tremendous political pressure is also being levied today by environmental non-governmental organizations to convert Class 3 multiple-use lands into Class 1 or 2 protected wildlands. Such a change automatically denies timber, range, and fishing resource users from their traditional access to multiple-use activities on federal or state land. In most cases, access to this land is their livelihood. This has and is happening already to thousands of families living in the western states having a high proportion of government land. Many of these families are fighting for their very livelihoods. Americans owning private land anywhere in rural America are vulnerable. Although the GAP project sounds innocent and even noble, it is designed solely for the purpose of defining where gaps exist between protective areas. These gaps are huge in Midwestern and some eastern states where very little government land exists. The only way these gaps can be closed is by taking private property through condemnation, conservation easements, or uncompensated regulation. GAP represents the first step in locking up 1/2 of America into wildlands for the highly questionable purpose of protecting nature from humans.